What's good, folks? Welcome to the channel. This is Timberfall Craft and I am Jake, and today we're going to be talking about EDC fixed blades, compact EDC fixed blades specifically, fixed blades that are easier to carry every day, that aren't too cumbersome and have generally an easy method of carry. I've been a knife addict, a knife guy, a knife junkie for a very long time, ever since I was in my teens. So over, well over 20 years. Over 20 years I've been a knife junkie, and I've had a lot of knives. A lot of knives have come and a lot of knives have gone. Destroyed, lost, sold, traded, and I've kept all my favorite ones, and most of these are pretty recent acquisitions because I wasn't always into compact fixed blades and the smaller fixed blades. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over my top 5 favorites of all time. These are the ones that I have kept and continuously use constantly. These are great blades. What makes up a EDC fixed blade, in my opinion, is carryability. Has to play a big role in it. You have to have some way conveniently to carry it in a way that you enjoy. And the size, so obviously once you get to a certain point, you're no longer a compact fixed blade or an EDC sized fixed blade, at least for me. And they have to accommodate me and my everyday use. Things I do on day to day for work, around my property, when I'm hiking, camping, carving sometimes, bushcraft type stuff, and a little bit of self-defense DNA in a EDC fixed blade. I do not mind at all either, but they don't have to hit every single point. The knife doesn't have to hit all of those points, but if it does, that's just a plus. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the table at the top 5 fixed blades. Starting with 5, working our way to 1 being the favorite. That all being said and getting the intro out of the way, let's slow down a bit and get right into it. So number 5 on this list is the Condor Zompopo. Comes with a little Kydex sheath, a little belt sheath, and I don't typically consider that EDC. Like, I don't like to EDC something on my belt generally, but we'll get to that in just a few. So that is the Condor Zompopo. This was designed by Joe Flowers for Condor Knife and Tool. And this is a wicked, wicked little blade. It's very unique. I really like unique blades. I like something different. And this was designed and named after, I think, like some sort of ant in the jungle, like the ant's mandible is what this whole thing was based off of. And this is like a bushcraft self-defense style design, I am pretty sure, is kind of what he was going for. Definitely an EDC style. He's got like a little pry bar tab at the bottom of the knife here. It's a full tang. It's decently thick, and you've got this crazy compound grind, or I guess you would call a compound grind on here, and it's kind of like a Scandinavian convex. So having this Scandinavian Scandivex bevel, this is really good at cutting wood and carving wood. And this little secondary point here is kind of like what the Tom Brown tracker has. Really good at making feather curls for getting a fire going. It has a good 90-degree spine. It's not the sharpest 90-degree spine, but it does throw sparks pretty decently. As you can see, that this type of blade shape is going to really be good in everyday use for cutting through boxes or whatever material that you might encounter. This hawkbill shape, it's just going to gather material up and just cut like no one's business. This thing is a beast, a slicer. It's not going to be very good at food prep just because of how awkward this blade is, but you know, they can't win them all, right? So gives you a nice pinch point right here to grab onto the blade, and this would be a wicked self-defense knife. You just basically grab onto it and lock your hand in so you don't slip forward, and just move it like that, and yeah, you're doing tons of damage. So yeah, you've got 1095 carbon steel with this guy and micarta scales. If you watch the full video, you will see that mine came with kind of an issue with the tip, but I fixed it. So that's something to keep into consideration. Also, this is your carry method. So what I did and what made this really EDCable for me is I used the MKM pocket sheath, and it fits pretty well in there. And I pocket carried it with this sheath. This blade did tear up the inside of the sheath a little bit, but it still works, and I would probably recommend getting just a dedicated one of these for this knife so you don't tear up other knife sheaths. So yeah, that's number 5 on my list, the Condor knife and tool Zompopo. And you could also throw like an ulti clip on here too or something like that. So that is also an option. All right, so number 4 and 3 are kind of tied, really close. So what I'm gonna do is just pick one, but just know that these are pretty much neck and neck. So number 4, we're gonna go with the StraightLine EDC Digger, designed by DCA Knives, and this thing is absolutely phenomenal. This is a great EDC blade, and it comes with one of those leather pocket sheaths that they make, that MKM makes. I'm not sure who made this one, but it's very similar. I really love these magnetic clasping leather carry sheaths. These things are absolutely fantastic. Been holding up great. Love these things. And then this design is just awesome. This is a great EDC design. You've got a super thin blade stock thickness and a full flat grind. And look how broad that is. This thing just slices like no one's business. This thing is a slicer through and through. I really like this blade shape. This is a very handy blade shape. Very good blade shape for me anyway. And this is really good at food prep. This is just an awesome blade, really. My biggest complaint with this blade would be the short handle. It is kind of a short guy, but it's nice and wide, so that kind of makes up for it a little bit. But that's the whole point of an EDC fixed blade, is to be small enough for somebody to want to carry it on a day-to-day basis. So I don't mind it. This is such a good design that I don't mind it so much. I'm not going to be doing a ton of hard work with this knife anyway, but this is a really great food prep knife. This would be a good small game knife. It's just awesome. I love the micarta. I love the blade shape. And you've got 14C 28N, which is a really tough stainless steel. And that's good and all because this is called the Digger. So it's kind of the design's loosely based around a hori knife, which is a digging knife that the Japanese use. It's like a gardening knife / mixed with a shovel. And I do have a full video on this knife if you want to check that out and get into a little bit more of the specifics. But yeah, this is just an awesome knife. You got jimping all the way up most of the back of the blade. I can't remember if this one can throw sparks or not. Maybe not. Can't remember. But yeah, just a great EDC knife. This one really going to excel in food prep and everyday carry. So that is the StraightLine EDC Digger. And both of these blades are roughly about $100. So the Zompopo is about $100 and the StraightLine EDC Digger is about $100. Alrighty, number 3 on my list is the Tops Knives Wood Nymph. Designed by Bushcraft Kelso, made in Idaho by Tops Knives. And this thing is a sweet little blade, sweet little EDC knife, sweet little EDC carving knife. This is kind of like a little mini Puko or a little mini Sloyd knife. It's got a really slender neutral profile, which I really like. I really dig that. And this thing's just super easy to carry. Micarta and 1095 steel. So you've got this really nicely made leather sheath. It's super tiny and you can wear it on your belt. So that's an option. I usually loop some survivor cord around this belt loop and wear it as a neck knife. That's another option. So it's super easy to carry just due to the compact nature of the blade. And if you really like little carving knives or a little EDC carver, this is perfect. This is like the perfect EDC blade that can also do a lot of carving tasks. If you're into whittling or anything like that, this thing is just wonderful. Wonderful design. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what he had in mind when he made it. It's called the Wood Nymph. And this would be a really fantastic small game type knife. Little small game, little around camp. So this is kind of like more of a bushcraft and hunting style knife, like bird and trout, stuff like that, whittling. And it really lacks in the food department and lacking in the self-defense and food prep department. Although this would be an okay kind of like mini paring style knife or something like that. But I really like this just because I really like this design. I'm a huge fan of carving knives and a huge fan of Pucos and a really big fan of Tops knives. And this is just a really this is just a really good design, well thought out. Love the neutral handle grip. You've got these scallops up here, and you can just really choke up on this like with a pinch grip. And this one is one of my favorites, like a really good miniature bushcraft knife. And nowadays I think these are about $140. So yeah, that's the Tops Knives Wood Nymph. Alright, so we're getting towards the top of the list. This is number 2 on the list, and this knife is the MKM Trezola Pocket Fixed Blade in Magna Cut steel. I got this for $200. They might be more than that now. Probably close to the same one. This is some shredded carbon fiber scales, and they come in like a bunch of different flavors. And this is a Trezola design. You can see right off the bat the Trezola influence on this thing. Classic Trezola blade shape, and I love this blade shape. I love the bayonet style grind, and I love the handle size and shape, and I love these pocket sheaths. These pocket sheaths are awesome. This one's been well used, and it's holding up just fantastic. This is the same sheath I was using with the Zompopo, but this sheath came with this knife. And there's also a Kydex option with this guy. But like the other knife, this is actually a pretty decent whittling knife. You can whittle, although this swedge makes doing cuts where you support the back of the blade with your thumb uncomfortable. But this would also be a really good small game, like bird and trout style knife. And unlike the other one, this one is good at food prep, as long as the blade length will allow for it, and has that self-defense DNA in it. And so this is kind of like what I would consider like almost like a sear operator style knife. It's got the self-defense tactical DNA in it, and it also has the ability for the survival outdoor type stuff. So yeah, that's the Trezola Pocket Fixed Blade in Magna Cut steel by MKM. Alright, so we're at the top of the list. We're at number 1. This is my favorite compact EDC fixed blade, and it is the Tops Knives Silent Hero. This is at the largest end of what I would consider an EDC fixed blade. In my opinion, it's definitely a compact fixed blade. EDC fixed blade, maybe not for everybody, but this is the largest knife size that I would try to EDC. You've got Tops' famous 1095 steel with the micarta scales on this thing, and this thing is pretty thin for a Tops knife. And you've got that saber height flat grind, so you've got a really tough blade, but it's also really slicey at the same time. You've got not great ergonomics for carving, but it can do some basic bushcraft type stuff and carving tasks. This is more of like a hunting style blade, but this is really good at like food prep, cutting meat, even through vegetables and fruits. Pretty good at that. Also has that tactical DNA in it with this really deep guard here to lock you into place. This is just a really great, all-around, very capable blade, and it touches a little bit on each of those bases that I'm looking for. You've got bushcraft, you've got food prep, you've got self-defense, and everyday carry. It's all wrapped up into this one blade, and it can do it all, and it can do it all pretty well. It usually comes with a scout carry sheath or scout carry option, which is fine, but I like to put the ulti clip on it and do pocket carry with this thing. Ultimately, this is a bomb-proof EDC blade, and just a bomb-proof compact fixed blade. If you are looking for just a really good all-arounder and this size of knife is what you're looking for, this is an excellent choice, an excellent selection. The handle isn't my favorite, but it's okay. Tops is pretty notorious for making some awesome knives and just kind of really messing up the handle, not putting a great handle on it. But this one's good. I like it. But yeah, that's the number one knife on my list, my top EDC compact fixed blade. This is my number one compact EDC fixed blade, the Silent Hero 4 by Tops Knives. This is an excellent knife. Good choice. Alrighty guys, well, leave a comment down below. Do you own any of these knives? And maybe put your list of your top 5 favorite compact EDC fixed blades down in the comments. Like and subscribe. And we will see you guys on the next one.